Straight ahead on 12 News, big local school development. From a special honor for the superintendent of Osseo area schools to a decision by the Wayzata School District that will help with its growing enrollment. But first, employees of a Maple Grove fast food restaurant forced into a freezer during an armed robbery. Why the case could be connected to other robberies. 12 News starts right now. Police are investigating the armed robbery of a Maple Grove Burger King.
It happened early this morning. Delane Cleveland joins us now to explain why this robbery may be connected to other recent cases. Delane?
Yeah, Mike and Alex, investigators say based on what the suspect was wearing, he could be involved in as many as 6 robberies of restaurants and small retail stores in Monticello, Big Lake, St. Cloud, and Maple Grove. Today's incident happened shortly after 6 in the morning at the Burger King along Weaver Lake Road, just off of I-94. Police say a white male between the ages of 30 and 40 entered the restaurant and immediately pulled out a semi-automatic handgun. The suspect then demanded money and ordered the restaurant's 2 employees into the cooler. Surveillance video captured images of the man wearing a black face mask, gray tennis shoes, blue jeans, and a dark Columbia-style jacket. He then escaped in a dark-colored Dodge Durango that investigators believe is a 2005 model. Now they're asking for the public's help.
Well, I think historically, if you go back and look, you see robberies that turn into homicides, and that's what our concern is. We don't want innocent folks that are just trying to operate a business get hurt in these robberies.
Maple Grove police say that this is the first time they've had the getaway vehicle identified in these robberies, so they plan on enhancing the images to see if they can identify key images or a license plate number. Mike and Alex, investigators say that if anyone has any information, they should either call the Maple Grove Police Department, or if they want to leave an anonymous tip, they can do that by calling the Crime Stoppers hotline. So we'll see what happens.
All right, thank you, Delane.
Thanks, Delane. A fire in Brooklyn Park seriously damaged a home on Brunswick Avenue. Fire officials say it started somewhere in the basement, and that's where most of the damage was done. But investigators are trying to figure out how it started. Nobody was home at the time. There were no injuries.
Police blame careless driving on a chain of car crashes Tuesday night in Crystal. This is video from inside a police squad. There were 3 crashes in about a 45-minute span. The first crash happened when a car rear-ended another vehicle near 42nd and Georgia. 2 other crashes then occurred that police attribute to gawking.
Back at the first accident, somebody is traveling now eastbound, and they rear-end another car. That person ends up to be a drunk driver who is ultimately arrested for DWI.
Police say the drunken driver was taken to jail. 1 person was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Well, Golden Valley is a busy place for apartment projects along I-394.
Construction recently began on the Arcata apartments next to the Colonnade office tower. Now the City Council has approved 2 more apartment buildings. The 394 apartments will be built on the northwest corner of 394 and Highway 100. One of the buildings will be luxury apartments serving empty nesters and also young couples. The other is for seniors in need of memory care and assisted living. The project has been in the planning stages for close to 6 years. The city is excited about it, but there are concerns from area neighbors about added traffic and the overall impact.
There's a lot of trees, and they're going to trash them all. They're not going to leave a buffer for us.
We have about 20 houses on the block. We have young families, older people. We have a house for autistic children. Right next door to me, there is a nursing home. We have people walking their dogs, have strollers. It's already horrible getting in and out.
Rents could range from $1,000 a month for a 1-bedroom up to $2,400 a month for a 3-bedroom unit. Construction could take up to 2 years.
Wayzata school officials say they need to build to keep up with growing enrollment. Wayzata High School alone could grow by 900 students in the next 10 years. This week, the school board approved 2 funding questions that will be on a special election ballot in February. One would expand Wayzata High School, build a new elementary school, and upgrade security. The cost would be $109 million. The other question asks voters to renew an existing technology levy.
The Osseo School District is asking voters next month to approve a $9 million per year operating levy. Meantime, the district's top leader is getting some recognition. Kate McGuire was named Minnesota's Superintendent of the Year by the state's Association of School Administrators. Today, McGuire talked with us about the strides and the challenges in the district.
How are ya? Hi, how are ya? Hey, buddy, how you doing?
When Kate McGuire stepped into the job of Osseo Superintendent 3 years ago, she already had 25 years experience in the district as a teacher, principal, and assistant superintendent. As leader of the state's 5th largest school district, McGuire's top priorities centered on securing stable education funding and closing the achievement gap between white students and those of color. Today, McGuire says she's proud of the strides made in both arenas.
I am most proud of the results that we're getting in student achievement, which is really a result of the work that staff members have been doing in District 279.
Tell me a little bit more about the strides that you've made in terms of closing the achievement gap, or the district has made.
We look at student achievement in a number of different ways, and probably the one that is most significant is we always look at student proficiency and student growth and our graduation rates, and we're making progress on all of those factors.
Top challenge ahead?
No question that the most immediate challenge is making sure that our voters are well informed for the November 5th levy election that's going to take place, because it's really all about funding that will help sustain the work that we're doing. Number one, most immediate challenge.
Coming up, debit or credit? Does it really matter when it comes to paying with plastic?
We'll have the pros and cons next in Money Savers. And then later in sports, highlights from a big night of playoff soccer, including Maple Grove versus Prairie Seeds.
But first, it's a look at your AccuWeather forecast. Well, here's a sign of the times. In 1995, only 10% of Americans used debit or credit cards.
Now, about 63% pay with plastic. But are the two interchangeable? Reporter Shannon Sladden has more in today's Money Savers.
It's a decision you make every time you step to the register. Do you pay with cash, credit, or debit? More people are opting to pay with plastic. So is it better to pay with your credit or debit card? Today, Money Savers finds out.
As the popularity of paying with plastic has grown, so has the number of criminals trying to swipe your personal information. Just last summer, a California couple set up a skimming device at this New Hope gas station and stole information from more than 400 people. Using your card at a gas station or outdoor ATM might be considered risky, but experts say if money is stolen, some of it can be recovered.
Fraud protection is the same on a credit card and debit card. So the consumer is liable up to the first $50 of any fraudulent activity that happens on either a debit or credit card, if it's reported to the financial institution or card carrier within the first 60 days.
Topline Federal Credit Union's Vicki Erickson says the choice between a debit or credit card depends on the person.
Use the card that is suited best for your financial situation. If it's easier for you to manage your checking account, then certainly use your debit card.
Think of a debit card like an electronic check, deducting money straight out of your checking account.
Most often the reason why consumers choose a credit over a debit is for debit. Typically people are using the debit cards for personal reasons, such as a way to better manage their finances and their budgets.
Credit cards act like short-term loans and charge interest. People can also use them to boost a credit score.
If you're making your payments on time, it helps to increase your score. So those that are looking to establish credit, build credit, or rebuild their credit, typically the credit card might be a better option.
I'm an advocate of getting benefits of using a credit card. There's miles, there's cash back, there's all those incentives, which you generally don't have that on a debit card.
Nicole Middendorf at Prosper Well Financial says use caution when spending with credit cards so you aren't tempted to go over budget.
You don't want to use a credit card to live beyond your means. You want to stick within your means and make sure that you pay that credit card bill off in full every single month.
For Money Savers, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Well, coming up, a big pollution problem and what residents in Plymouth can do about it.
But first in sports, Wayzata aims for an upset in the boys' soccer playoffs. John Jacobson is in next.
They dominated in Class A, and this year Prairie Seeds Academy moved to Class AA to take on the biggest schools in boys soccer. Top seed Maple Grove hoped to end the Lycans' run in the Section 5 AA tournament finals. Off a Prairie Seeds corner kick, Munir Peterson-Darbaki gets a shot after the deflection. The goalkeeper Ben Nelson stops it. It's scoreless at halftime. Second half, another corner kick. Charles Huberty heads heads the ball down into the turf, bounces past Nelson for a goal. And Prairie Seeds is on the board about 5 minutes into the half. Kevin Huff nearly ties it on the free kick. It just grazes PSA goalie C.J. Damien, goes wide as the Crimson push for the tying goal. But Prairie Seeds ices it as Maligby Keita steals the pass, fires the long shot in. Darwin Campoverde there to bury the rebound, a 2-0 lead. Prairie Seeds headed to state with a 2-0 win after a rare scoreless first half for them.
I personally felt a little bit unsatisfied. I felt like the team hadn't performed of the way we could have performed, but in a way, I feel like the second half kind of made up for it. So,
it's like a trend lately for us. I mean, we've been playing against teams that really like to play physical, and we like the challenge. You know, we have players that are able to do that as well. So for us, we necessarily haven't been playing the way we want to, but as long as we're pulling out the results, that's all that matters most.
In Section 6AA, the Wayzata boys advanced to the title game against top seed Minneapolis Southwest. This one on Southwest's home field. Early first half, Lewis O'Connor's corner kick is headed in by Nick Riley for a 1-0 Trojans lead. Later in the first, Alex Paulsgrove races in alone, drills the high shot. Wayzata stuns the top-ranked Lakers by jumping out to a 2-0 lead. But Southwest comes hard in the second half. Off the corner kick, Colin Knudsen gets control and scores top corner. He gets Southwest on the board. Then Adam Ulring with a perfect cross to Knudsen for the redirect goal, and we're tied at 2. And the Lakers complete the comeback when Diego Rios pulls off a nifty move and scores with the left foot. A 3-goal second half rally gets Southwest the section title and a trip to state. Breck's boys soccer team was seeking its first trip to the state tournament since the 2008 season. Mustangs hosting Waconia in the Section 6A final. Early first half, the Mustangs' Alexander Hasselbring blasts one into the Wildcats' net. 1-0 Breck less than 5 minutes in. Midway through the first half, Waconia with a corner kick, and the ball comes to Anthony Schuster, and he scores, and we're tied up at 1. No more scoring in this one in regulation or overtime, and with Waconia leading 3-2 in the shootout, Wildcats goalie John Rogers makes the save on Josh Getzman to end it. For the second straight year, the Wildcats eliminate the Mustangs and advance on to state. In the semifinals in Section 5A, Tutino Grace pounds top seed De La Salle 4-0. Heritage upends second seed St. Paul Washington Tech 3-2 to move into their first ever section final. Eagles versus Eagles Thursday night at 7 for the section title at Maple Grove High School. In the Section 5AA girls final, number 3 seed Maple Grove looked to upset top seed and unbeaten Mounds View. Scoreless until late in this game. Mounds View's Emily Michelson with a crossing pass. First try misses, but Heather Lay is there to slam it in with just over a minute to play. Mounds View pulls out a 1-0 win. Hopkins lost 1-0 to Minnetonka in the 6AA girls final. In Class A girls soccer, top-ranked Benilde St. Margaret's looks like a strong threat to win it all. The Red Knights hosting Orono for the Section 6A championship. Benilde's Emily Vander Heide steals the Orono clearing pass and blasts a perfectly placed shot under the crossbar. Benilde's up 1-0, and that's the score at halftime. Second half, and Jordan Mattis to Alexa Tatterin, back to Mattis for the shot and goal. Benilde has a little breathing room with a 2-0 lead. Orono tries to cut into the lead, but the shot by Miranda Mosier is stopped, and the Red Knights hold that 2-0 lead. And they break it open from there. Tatterin shrugging off the defender to bury it in for the 5th goal of the night for Benilde. Red Knights head to state with a 5-1 win. Another look at girls soccer, Section 5A. Park Center rolls to a win over Maranatha. Tutino Grace beats Monticello. So it's Park Center and Grace playing for the title Thursday at 5 o'clock at Maple Grove. And that's a look at sports.
All fired up.
Yes,
Thanks a lot, John. In Local Vote 2013, here's 2 more candidates running for the Hopkins School Board.
We've heard from 4 candidates this week. Today, incumbent Betsy Scheuer-Anderson and Heather Hansen.
My name is Heather Hansen. I am running for a position on the Hopkins School Board. I am married and have 3 children. I am dedicated to the youth as I see our children as the future. I am very impressed with the resiliency and the intelligence our youth possess. I feel the responsibility to improve the access to better resources that will develop a sense of world citizenship and a stronger education-based skills in our youth. I hope to bring a fresh viewpoint to the board, help the school district address the varied issues with a reasonable mind. I feel that Hopkins is a terrific school district with many assets and accomplishments that should be recognized. I am in support of a financially efficient district, a safe environment for our children, educators, and staff, strong academic programming, and enhancing public relations and building a sense of community through business and non-school entities within the Hopkins School District. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Betsy Scheuer Anderson, and I'm running for re-election to the Hopkins School Board. I was elected to the board 8 years ago during a lot of turmoil in our district. We brought our district back to a place of strength so that we could once again focus on what's most important, our kids. For my second term, my focus has been on advocating for education and for children, both at home and across our state. I believe that is one of our most meaningful roles, giving a voice to the voiceless. Our district has seen many successes over the past 8 years, but that doesn't mean the road ahead will be easy. I am passionate about continuing this work. Now is the time for proven leadership, dedication, and experience. I humbly ask for your vote on November 5th so that I may continue working on the Hopkins School Board, advocating for kids and education. Thank you.
And we'll be right back. The Minnehaha Creek Watershed District is looking for a few volunteers to help protect area lakes.
The group is recruiting so-called master water stewards. The only catch is that you have to live in the Minnehaha Creek Watershed District, which includes parts of Plymouth. Reporter Sonia Goins has more.
The water sounds soothing and looks pretty, but it's carrying something ugly into the drain.
All the water that falls on the roads and parking lots and roofs of buildings all washes down into the street. It picks up everything that's in the street and runs right into the storm sewers, which go directly into the lakes and rivers.
The problem is phosphorus, which feeds algae, eventually choking out fish and other animals in the lake.
We're trying to keep water out of the storm sewers. The whole idea here is to keep water where it falls instead of running into lakes and rivers.
To accomplish that goal, the Minnehaha Creek Watershed District and the Freshwater Society are enlisting the help of master water stewards.
What we're trying to get stewards to do is work in neighborhoods and work with property owners so that more of that water soaks into the ground.
The volunteers would teach homeowners about projects aimed at protecting area lakes.
Take out some turf and put in a garden so more water soaks into the ground. Put up a rain barrel and use that free water coming off your roof to water your garden.
Environmentalists say even if you don't live near a waterway, we all benefit, so it's up to the public to stop pollution.
Pollution has gotten worse. The more roads we put down, the more we pave, the less chance water has to soak in. So if it's not soaking in, it's running off.
Sonia Goins, 12 News.
And they're looking for 30 water stewards. Training starts in January. If you're interested, you can go to our website. It's 12.tv. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corner coming up next. See you tomorrow.